Yeah, but I do have some questions about twin flames because I heard these words a lot many years ago, but really don't understand this concept in a scientific way. So you mentioned the quantum entanglement. Well, it sounds really cool. Can you explain more about that?
And how it relates to twin flames?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is it's beyond some people's comprehension. So all I would suggest is you open your mind and just forget everything you think you know, so you can allow your mind to go somewhere that maybe it hasn't been before, right?
Right.
That this quantum entanglement is that if you can believe and think for a moment that you've lived many lifetimes, not just one, that you have incarnated over and over and over again to gain all the experiences that you need to have to become really, truly a completed human being. And a completed human being would be one who has experienced everything, because we learn through experience. That's our greatest teacher. And so we don't gain all the experiences we need in one lifetime. There's no way we possibly could. And so we come back and we have incarnation after incarnation after incarnation. And so the quantum entanglement that I'm speaking of with twin flames is that in the beginning, when you decided as a spirit to come to this earth plane, that you came in, there had to be two energies. There had to be positive and negative. You had to be able to create using both energies. And the positive energy is masculine. The negative energy is feminine. And so as you came in as two impulses or two flames of desire, wanting to have this human experience. And those two that came together, the positive and the negative, would be twin flames. So they started the very beginning of their incarnations together. And then if this were a entire soul's path, is to go through an entire circle of completion, then let's say the two twin flames come in together, they have a lifetime together, but then they go different directions and they have many, many, many lifetimes with many different partners and many different people. And they come back and meet again at the end of their lifetimes. They must come back to the let me say it this way. All things return to the source of their creation. So it's like the law of attraction, but what you put out, you get back. And what you start with, you end with. And so as you start, you're going to end together. And so that's what draws twin flames back together. In quantum physics and quantum entanglement, if you take one particle and you split it into two, they are now, it's like twins that grow in the womb together. They're always a part of one another. They sense each other, they feel each other, they share each other's wounds. And so they'll be drawn back. They what?
They mirror each other.
Mirror each other, yeah. And they mirror each other perfectly. We are mirrors for everyone we come in contact with, but twin flames mirror each other perfectly. So it's funny because like even me and my husband, he's left-handed and I'm right-handed. and we're like, so twin flames are like perfect mirrors, but two sides to the same coin. So they're actually polar opposites, if that makes sense. For one, he's masculine, I'm feminine. He's left-handed, I'm right-handed. He is very much in his masculine energy. So he's not afraid to just, how can I say this? He has very good boundaries, and his type of love could be a tough love. It's kind of like, you know what, this is what they need. They need this tough love right now. And mine is very much a nurturing, loving love. And so mine's a soft love. So he has a tough love and I have a soft love. And so the way that we do anything and almost the choices that we make are almost always completely opposite. And so some people would say, why would you want to be with someone that is totally opposite? And I said, well, that's why it's this high conscious love, because I know who I am, he knows who he is, and we allow each other to just be who we are. We don't try to change each other, even though he would do something completely different than I do it. And even though I do it differently than he does it, he knows that what I'm doing is right in the moment, and what he's doing is right in the moment. And I know that too. So we allow it to just unfold, beautifully. And it's been very interesting, but fun and incredible. So yeah, so that entanglement, how if you pull one particle apart, and when I was studying quantum entanglement years ago, before I met him, Spirit told me, Angie, in order to understand this, you need to replace the word person for particle. And I thought, well, that's weird, but okay. So every time I read anything in quantum physics about quantum entanglement and it would say particle, I would just say, oh, so instead of two particles, I'd say, oh, so two people that are going different directions. And that's why the moment I met him, I recognized it. I was like, whoa, wait, what's been happening to me has been happening to you, even though we haven't met each other. And so we were having the same experience on two different ends of the spectrum, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds really, really cool. And actually, for me, it's quite romantic.
Yeah, it is. And it's beautiful. I've had lots of people say, oh, I want a love story like that, and yet we all have one, and we all will at some point have the opportunity for that.
So is there a twin flame for everyone?
Yeah, so my understanding is that yes, that this is when you reach completion, but if you take into consideration you live many lifetimes, this may not be your final lifetime. And if it's not your final lifetime, you're probably not going to come into union with them. And if you do, it might blow up in your face. It won't work. It won't be the completion, right? There's many great sages in the past that have spoken of this type of relationship. And I'll just share, two of my best teachers have been Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. A lot of people don't think of them as being a couple, but they teach all about in all of these ancient texts, but only if you can understand what they're talking about. For instance, like there's some ancient texts that have been discovered just since 1945 in Nag Hammadi, and these ancient scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls that some people speak of, and in it would be like the Gospel of Thomas or the Gospel of Philip and the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. And in those books, they are quoted or quoting Jesus as saying, when you can make the inner like the outer, and the male like the female, when you can make the outside like the inside, you will enter the kingdom. And what he's saying is you have a divine partner that is going to look and feel and be just like you. And when you can bring those two into union, you will enter the kingdom. And it's just the kingdom of total creativity. So that spontaneous combustion is really what happens with two twin flames, because when you can put two particles that are quantum entangled back together, because they literally are causing an effect and affecting a cause within one another at all times. And when you can pull them back together and be in union, quantum physics says that there's about 1 in a billion chances of doing that. So it's not like it happens all the time, right? But it is very, very few and far between. And yet, even in some of those ancient texts, it says that the way is, how does it say it? Straight is the gate and narrow's the way, and few there be that find it. Few there be that find it. It's not simple. It's not, just a piece of cake. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this quote from Bob's Material.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just 2 weeks ago, I read that sentence. So,
oh, goodness. That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah.